The media is reporting that House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has secured a win for the $3.5 trillion budget reconciliation bill that includes much of what was stripped out of the bipartisan infrastructure bill. All those provisions that are meant to help ordinary Americans. Well, it turns out that that's not the case, and the framing of that is essentially gaslighting the American people. So I'm gonna go to the last graphic here to give you a sense of how this has all gone down. Now, breaking, House votes 220 to 212 to pass the rule to one, begin writing Biden's $3.5 trillion budget reconciliation package, right? Guarantee a vote on the Senate approved, meaning the Senate already voted on the $550 billion infrastructure bill. That's the bipartisan infrastructure bill by September 27th. And then number 3, vote on the John Lewis voting rights bill. For the purposes of this discussion, let's focus on the back and forth in regard to the infrastructure bill and the reconciliation bill. Now, as I mentioned, the bipartisan bill has already passed the Senate. The corporate Democrats, the conservative Democrats in the House are like, we are not going to agree to play ball on the $3.5 trillion reconciliation bill until we get a promise that there will be a vote on the bipartisan bill that gives all the goodies to our corporate donors by September 27th. And guess what? Nancy Pelosi agreed to that, meaning they will hold a vote on the bipartisan bill on that date. How is this a win for the $3.5 trillion reconciliation bill, which is the bill that we need to get passed? They haven't even written it yet. So if they guarantee a vote on September 27th on the corporate handout bill, which is the bipartisan bill, and let's say it passes the House and it's already passed the Senate and it ends up on Biden's desk, they sign that into law, it's over.
Yeah,
it's over.
So look, guys, there's nuance here. We'll do that as well, but this appears to be a giant nothing burger. And I feel like even good progressives have been tricked into thinking something was actually passed just because of the massive nuclear level gaslighting that's happening by the establishment as we speak. So Christine Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi's daughter, put out a tweet saying she landed the plane. No. And now I'm seeing all over Twitter from other influencers, powerful people, etc. Oh, she landed the plane. She landed the. Where's the plane? So look, guys, let's break it down. So here's the nuance. John Lewis bill. Okay, great. We're super happy to have it, but was that in question in the House? Was there any monsters in the Democratic side that were thinking of not voting for the John Lewis bill, that it's about voting rights? If there were, name their names. I'd like to know, because every Democrat pretends to be in favor of it. So the John Lewis bill is great, but every Democrat was gonna vote for it. So is that an accomplishment for Nancy Pelosi? No, not at all. I mean, bragging about that is ridiculous. She also breathed oxygen today. I mean, this is what we're bragging about? No, that can't be it. Obviously, that's not it, right? And if it is it, again, name the Democrats who are opposed to it, because we'd really like to know. Okay, now, then you move to the 2 bills. Well, everybody's acting like they passed the $3.5 trillion bill. It's not even written. How could it be passed if it's not written? It's just a trick. That's all it is. Saying, oh, we're gonna work on it. You know what that means? Nothing. Nada. We're gonna work on it. Okay, congratulations, work on it. And then when you pass it, let me know. They're acting like she just got the king to agree to the Magna Carta. What are you talking about? So the only concrete thing in the bill is the date to vote on the awful version.
Yes.
And so now when they get up to September 27th, now here's another part of the nuance. Progressives like AOC say, hey, look, we said there'd be a vote on September 27th. We didn't say that we'd vote yes. Now that's fair and that's true and that's good. And I hope that they hold to that. But I've watched politics a long time. I guarantee you what's gonna happen. As September 27th gets nearer, do you think the $3.5 trillion bill will be written and voted on already in the House? I put that at about a 2% chance.
They're about to go on recess.
Yeah, they're not gonna do that. That would be record-breaking speed. They claim, some sources are claiming they'll have it done by September 15th. On which planet? Okay, so hey, if they do and they vote on it before September 27th, then we turn right back around, because this isn't about teams and partisanships and being right, etc. It's about what's true. If they turn around and get that bill done before September 27th, the $3.5 trillion one, and pass it, then I'm ready to give all the credit in the world. Then I'll say she landed the plane, right? But right now, that's a nothing. But when September 27th starts to come up, everyone is going to start saying, "Oh, progressives, you said it. You voted for it. Remember how we talked about landing the plane? And now you're going to vote against the Magna Carta? These monster progressives. Vote for it, vote for it. Vote for the Republican version." I guarantee you that's what's going to happen.
No, it's.
So this is actually counterproductive. It's counterproductive.
It is counterproductive, and I think it's even worse than what we've already described. Because again, remember, the bipartisan infrastructure bill has already passed in the Senate. So if they hold that vote on September 27th, and let's say progressives cave and they let that bill pass, it's over. There is no reconciliation bill yet, right?
Yeah.
So my point is, nothing in regard to the reconciliation budget bill has passed in the Senate yet. They had a procedural vote on it, but you still have to deal with Sinema, you still have to deal with Manchin, you have to deal with the corporate Democrats in the Senate as well. So let's say the House, let's say Nancy Pelosi, does stand her ground, right? And ensures that they have a $3.5 trillion budget bill ready to go, and they vote on both bills on that same day, and both bills pass on that same day. The $3.5 trillion bill still needs to pass in the Senate as well. So no, this is kind of disastrous when you think about it.
I can't stand the media. I can't stand the mainstream media anymore. Lie after lie after lie, a total alternate reality. And they're tricking good people into thinking it actually passed. It didn't pass at all. It's not even miles from passing. So look, guys, I'm gonna say it one more time, and we have a petition on this. Go to tyt.com/petitions. If they don't vote for the $3.5 trillion version one, the Democratic version one first, and they vote on the $1 trillion one, which is actually $550 billion in new money. That's the Republican version. They're calling it bipartisan, but it's what the Republicans wanted. First, there is a 0% chance the other version is going to pass.
Zero.
I guarantee it. You could write it down in stone. 0. It's an obvious lie. It's the most obvious lie I have ever seen in politics. And so if they say, "Oh no, progressives, don't worry, we'll pass it later," I will take a bet with any member of Congress, 535 members, and they can name their price. It bankrupt me, it'll be easy, okay? But if they pass the bipartisan one first, the chance of the reconciliation bill passing is 0%. It's not even 0.01%. The conservatives will easily laugh and laugh and laugh. And it's not just Sinema and Manchin in the Senate. Gottheimer and the conservative Democrats. Stephanie Murphy in the House is a Democrat from Florida. She's saying, "My party's wrong about the $3.5 trillion bill. I can't believe how much money it spends. The Republicans are right." She's not gonna vote for it.
No, and think about what corporate Democrats are citing as the obstacle. The reason why they have become such a massive obstacle in getting that $3.5 trillion bill passed, it's because they don't want tax cuts for their corporate donors. So think about how that's gonna play out politically for the Democratic Party. You think people are stupid? You think they're not paying attention? They're not gonna know why corporate Democrats are holding up this incredibly important piece of legislation? So have at it. And by the way, real quick, the John Lewis Act, let me be clear about that as well. I guess a voting rights act that's been scaled back considerably from the For the People Act is better than nothing. But compared to the For the People Act, it's not great. Yeah. It's just not. Let's just keep it real, right? I want them to pass something. So if they've already caved to corporate Democrats on issues like that, I mean, they don't have to cave to anybody, right? They have control of the House and the Senate. This is about their own self-preservation, and they can't get a Voting Rights Act passed, a more robust version of it. It's just pathetic, man. It really is.
So Anna, thank you for pointing that out. So the John Lewis voting rights bill, as I mentioned earlier, is an easy one to pass because every Democrat agrees with it. Doesn't mean it's sufficient. Will I take it on top of For the People Act? Yes, I would love to have it on top of For the People Act. But if you're gonna do it in substitute of For the People Act, which was the real bill, which is what Manchin is saying in the Senate, I don't want the real bill, I want the watered down version, the John Lewis version. Manchin wrote an op-ed about that. So in reality, this entire thing is a Trojan horse to let Manchin and the Republicans get everything they want. And the final part of this is a quote from Mitch McConnell. So when he saw all this going down, the Republican leader in the Senate said, "I wish the moderates in the House success," referring to the moderate Democrats. He said, "I'm pulling for them. We're doing our part." So right there, that is an admission that corporate Republicans and corporate Democrats have been working together this whole time. They're on economic issues, they're the same party. So Mitch McConnell's saying, Gottheimer, Stephanie Murphy, Manchin, Sinema, I love you guys. Now, I specifically referred to the House there, so let's keep it to the 9 conservative Democrats that got this Trojan horse accepted. Now, that doesn't explain why everybody in the media cannot read and doesn't understand simple logic, like how could it have passed if the $3.5 trillion version hasn't even been written? Why are you pretending it passed when it doesn't even exist?
Exactly.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.